So what I think about Steph Curry and Under Armour parting ways. It's kind of a surprise because you think that a guy like Steph Curry's impact on the court would loan itself to a lifetime deal. Obviously, it's funny how Michael Jordan had a lifetime deal with Nike. Allen Iverson Reebok's deal was kicking in. Kobe's, but as big as Steph Curry is, the shoes just didn't really fit. Ain't that something? So it wasn't the shoes, it was the wrist. But says a lot that they just don't see no more money in him. Usually a guy who reaches the zenith that he does, you would think. Because you think to yourself, like, well, I saw Shaq shoes still kind of sell it. When they were still Kmart, Walmart was selling them for a bit. He even had a deal. But Steph just ain't commercial like that. And sometimes it's not all his fault, but he the basis of people, it's like people just don't be feeling some things and they just not really into it like that. So it's kind of a surprise when you think about it. Under Armour, not breaking ties with him. He really hasn't been a hot commodity in the last few years. I think that after he won that last ring in 2022, Jokic took over and the Celtics won, and then you had OKC. So he's been, I'm not saying he's being phased out because there's still people, obviously his impact on the court, but when you think about Steph Curry and you think about the success he had and you think about what he did, you kind of like, it's quite a mouthful to say the least. And so you got to kind of wonder, that this is kind of a surprise that Under Armour is like no more business with him. And, because unless, of course, they've been listening to what his wife been saying craziness, but I don't think Aisha Curry got him, I don't think that's nothing to do with that. I just think that it just ain't no interest no more. Believe it or not, as great as he is, as impactful he is, because basically right now he'd have to win a ring again to get some type of hope and hype. And I think people have pretty much, he's in the twilight of his career, He's got 2 or 3 years maybe left, 2 years, I think, till he gets to 40. And like I said, once he gets 30,000 points and, gets all the acknowledgments and the farewell tour and parade, but unless he can pull off another ring, that